And we all look like, who's the tall drink of water with the cowboy hat? And it was Blake.
I have been one of these artists, and it was cool because he actually gave a crap. Like, he really cared.
You get attached to these young people who have big dreams, and you're part of their path to them having their dreams come true.
Oh my God, nobody has really ever watched me win an award. I know that now.
Blake, Kelly, John, get ready. It's Team Nick time. Hi everyone, I'm Gerrad Hall and welcome to Entertainment Weekly's Around the Table. Hopefully you have done your vocal warm-ups, because right now it's all about the voice, as in host Carson Daly, coaches Blake Shelton, Kelly Clarkson, John Legend, and Nick Jonas, and executive producer and showrunner Audrey Morrissey. Hello to all of you. How are you?
Hi, Gerrad. What's up?
Hi. How's it
Hi.
going?
Oh,
I think the voice has evolved in small ways over the last 10 years, but at the end of the day, it still is what it started out to be, which is a show that is about talent first.
Every year, we get the chance to be amazed by new artists that we've never heard before.
The Voice is celebrating some milestones this year. Not only is it the 10-year anniversary of the show's debut, but it's also the 20th season, which is just insane to think. Blake, Carson, and Audrey, you've all been there from the beginning. Take us back to that first season. What do you remember most about it?
Oh my gosh. I'll just jump in there quickly, because the funniest thing is this all happened really fast, and we went to air with it really quick because this reality competition space was filling up. Long story short, we get Christina Aguilera, arguably the voice of our generation. It's a huge get. We get Adam Levine, the rock star. We get the great CeeLo Green, and we have 3 huge names. It's fine. We'll just get a whatever fourth. And we got this country guy named Blake Shelton. And Blake walks in the room, and we all look like, who's the tall drink of water with the cowboy hat? And it was Blake, which I only bring it up because after 10 years, I don't think anybody's got a bigger bounce off this television successful show than Mr. Shelton's.
So classic. That is so true. For me, one of the biggest things was, is this format going to work? And I mean, what could the worst thing that could happen on day one for the show taping would be that the chairs don't work. And that's exactly what happened. Literally a half hour before we start taping, the chairs don't work, and it was like a full-scale panic. Like,
And
what are we gonna
don't
do?
work meaning they won't spin at all, or it's like
They won't
just
spin.
keep
They
spinning?
won't spin.
Oh, okay.
No, they won't spin. Like, we've been rehearsing with them forever, and now is our big moment. Like, they need to work, and they're not working, and we were delayed, and I'll never forget that. And then when we finally got them up, and we put everybody in these chairs, and while the coaches had met each other and had a little meet and greet, and we'd shown them, how the chairs turned, we had never really tried it. And we were all just like, I hope it works. Like, I hope they have something to say. Like, will they turn around? Will the voices be good enough? And when I think our first audition, like at least 2, I think actually 3 people turned around, and it was hilarious. And it was like, exhale, like we're going to be okay. We've landed the plane.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Blake, do you remember being looked at as that tall drink of water walking in the room?
I guess because we're closing in on, or this is the 10-year anniversary. I see people, talking on social media and stuff, and I saw the competition between competition shows out there, and somebody got on Twitter and was saying, name one person that The Voice has ever discovered besides Blake Shelton. And I thought that was pretty funny. It's, it is what it is, right? I think back to how The Voice has changed from that first season, and in a lot of ways, it's very different, outside of the blind audition process, the show has kind of changed a lot. I remember, that first season when we had our battle rounds, we brought our mentors or advisors or whatever we call them. They had like a little side cart with on our chairs. It was almost like, Jabba the Hutt had that little lizard thing that was also attached to his side that he's pulling on the chain. Mine was Reba. Reba was my appendage, and it'd be like, what do you think, Reba? What do you think I should go with so-and-so? And I don't know. So it was like totally different. Back then you could kind of blame, your decision on, well, Reba said, so you're out of here.
I am the king of the voice.
No matter what happens in these blinds, I'm still the king of the voice. I am the king of the voice.
For the others, I want to get the rest of you in here, Kelly, John, and Nick. Going back to your first season, of course, the show had been on for several seasons at that point, and you got to watch and see how it worked. But did that really, truly prepare you at all for your first day? What was that like?
Well, I think when you start, the conceit of the show, the format, you've seen how it works, but I don't think you think about the strategy as much until you're actually sitting there. There's so much strategy going into who you turn for, how you plan out who you're going to pair when you're having battles and knockouts and all these things. There's a lot more strategy that goes into it, and until you're in it, I don't think you're aware of that. And then the other side of it is the emotional side of it. You get attached to these young people who have big dreams, and you're part of their path to them having their dreams come true. And then you send half of them home after the first week. It's like, it's quite a roller coaster of emotions with them.
Well, I remember actually, because Blake and I, we used to be managed by the same company. So I remember the head of the company telling me, yeah, he was like, Blake, this country artist I'm working with is going to do this singing show. And I was like, because I was like, there's a lot of them.
A thing or two about those. Yeah.
Yeah. And so honest to God, I was sitting there and I looked at him and I was like, I don't know, like, you don't want to like tie him to like a brick in the ocean. And I remember him literally saying, talking about the blinds. And I was like, what now? I was like, and he said, yeah, they're turned around so you can't. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I was like, nobody's doing anything like that. And that is what drives a lot of people insane in the industry, is that video has killed the radio star in a sense. I thought that was really clever. And then the second season, I think I came in to help Blake's team, and we were all in a barn, and it was really cool. I had a really good experience because I have been one of these artists, and it was cool because he actually gave a crap. Like, he really cared, and it was nice. And I paid attention to that. I don't think I ever even told him that, but I paid attention to that because I thought, I've been these people, and I know, people don't care all the time. And I thought it was really cool that the coaches, it seemed like they really were like really trying to help these artists. And it was more of like a team rather than a judge situation. I liked that. And then obviously I ended up being a part of the show. And I was excited from the first day. Obviously I knew what to expect a bit because I've been on the singing competition, but I will tell you, nothing prepares you for the blinds. You turn around and you're like, what? You're like, whoa, you're like a different human than I imagined in my head. And I think that honestly, that's the reason for me personally, I can't speak for the world or fans for The Voice, but for me personally, from being from a show and then also being on this, so like, it's a really cool thing that we focus on the actual talent of the person. And sometimes I think that gets lost, not just in this industry, but in a lot of industries. And it's a cool thing, and I think the public likes that it's all the underdogs that might not get in the door. I was one of those people that might never have gotten in the door. I really love it.
I looked over at John and was like, I am ready for a soulful singer.
And she blocked me.
And yes, because I was nervous, and you're so good. You came in here and you showcased almost everything that you're possibly able to do, but you did it in a way that we're still wanting more. And on top of that, you seem fun as hell.
Nick, how about you? Your first season, what do you remember?
I mean, my first season was pretty adventurous. It was kind of the start to all this craziness in the world and having to do things from home. And here we are, a year later and still in the same spot. Blake has blamed me many times for being the reason all this is happening.
Yeah. It didn't happen before he came, I'll tell you that.
So I haven't had a truly just simple season of The Voice, but I've loved every second of it. I became aware of the format as a whole right when they were putting the show together here, and I'd seen some clips from the Holland version, and just thought it was a really disruptive and big idea. And to Kelly's point, I love that it was about the voices. So as a fan for so many years of the show and watching and getting to see these people really come into their own as artists, one of the things that this group here on Zoom with us first said to me is you're going to see in real time that they truly grow and they get better each time you work together in each round of this competition. And that also makes the heartbreak of having to part ways with these people that you build these relationships and trust with that much more difficult. But in the end, I think what has been the most rewarding thing has been getting to work with some great people, both to my left and right, but then also with my team this season, the season before. I feel, really fortunate to have just gotten a chance to be a teammate. I think Kelly hit it on the head. It's not that we're judges or coaches. We're there to help them in any way we can. And for me, I view myself still very, very early in my career and experiences. So whatever I've learned so far can be helpful, but I'm learning from them as well.
But you've been in like the industry as long as all of us, because you started so young.
Allegra,
Hi.
you sounded so incredible.
Thank you so much.
How long have you been playing music?
My whole family is musical.
A musical family.
A musical family.
Interesting.
Dang.
This is interesting. Carry on. Go ahead.
I started writing songs 4 years ago.
So you wrote your first song when you were 12.
Yeah.
Interesting. Another interesting fact. I don't know if you know this. I also wrote one of my first songs when I was 12. It's a song called SOS.
You guys have all kind of alluded to, there's strategy involved. There are teams here. This isn't just people, getting up on stage and singing. There's all this strategy involved. So to that point, everyone get ready. I'm gonna remind everyone that Blake has won this show 7 times. Cringe and get it out of your system. No, Kelly has won 3 times, including your first season. John, you have won once. That was your first season. And Nick, this is your second season. I feel like you are you out for blood? Does that motivate you even more, knowing that everyone else around you has a win?
Absolutely. I was furious last season. Happy for Team Blake, sure, but I probably feel a bit like Patrick Mahomes feels right now. Going against the GOAT. And trying to get the win. So I'm going to come back with a fire this season. Blake, Kelly, John, get ready. It's Team Nick time.
Well, going into this, of course, we've mentioned there are the blinds, the knockouts, the battle rounds. Then we get to live. Is there a moment so far where you guys already know, it's going to be a moment, like when this season starts airing, everybody's going to be talking about it? And of course, you don't have to say the contestant's name, but you can just kind of describe the moment, I suppose.
I don't think we know yet. I think it's hard because when you start with artists, they evolve during the time you are working with them. And I think we haven't seen all of their potential yet. We're just starting to scratch the surface. We've only had one set of rehearsals with them for one round that hasn't even taped yet. So I think there's a lot more for us to discover about the artist. And I think Kelly said that already, that when you start with them, it's such another thing than by the time you've gone multiple rounds with them. You see so many sides of them, and the ones who are really great, they start to show you those things. Each week you grow with them and they grow with the show. The ones who are really good get better each week and learn more about how to be the best artists they can be. I think we don't know what that moment is yet. It's gonna come, but we don't know what it is yet.
I think also, just to second what you said, it's not always that the 4-chair turns. That's the trickiest thing to me, because a 4-chair turn, you'll be like, oh my gosh, they're gonna be in the finale. And then that first rehearsal with them, you'll get in there and you'll go, what? You're like, because it was a perfect, it's a lot of it is song selection. A lot of it is song selection and what their little pocket is. And maybe that was, one of their best performances, so it can be tricky. You'll all of a sudden you'll think you're going to go with someone that you've maybe paired with someone and it could be like a 1-chair against a 4-chair. And you might go with the 1-chair. It's like all of us on this call right now, or what do you call this? It's like, we've all done different award shows or different performances or different shows on tour. Some nights are better than others. Like some things are, some performances you're like, oh my God, I don't know how I have a career. And then other nights you're like, so I pretty much sailed. I soared. I did so amazing. It's always different, so, and that's the crazy thing about the show. And why I think, we're all celebrating 10 years of this show together is because it's because of that. It's because of the the unknown.
Well, this show is the only talent competition to win the Outstanding Reality Emmy, not once, but 3 times. The first was back in 2013. So for those of you who were there, take us back to that night. Like, did you think you had a fighting chance? Like, how were your feelings going into it? And then what do you remember about being up on that stage?
This was such a big leap for the network to swing for the fence in this space because Idol was still so huge. X Factor was on its way to the American TVs. We were running, and so it was a very crowded space. People thought we were absolutely insane to try and do this singing competition. There's enough. It's oversaturated. It'll never last. And then on top of that, NBC doubles down and puts it on twice a year. So there was so much going. We were all so happy and appreciative of the fact that we knew we were onto something because the numbers were just so huge. I remember after the very first episode aired, I got a phone call. I was doing a radio show in LA, and it was an executive, and he said, "We just got the overnights," and he said, "Buckle up. We have a bona fide runaway hit. We haven't seen these numbers in like decades." And so, when we got nominated for an Emmy, the good thing about that is that I think for people like me and Adam Levine in particular, and maybe CeeLo, we all come from, like, I was a music director at K-Rock in Los Angeles. I worked at MTV. I wasn't totally sold on the music on television thing yet. It seemed a little weird to me. And when you get nominated for an Emmy, I think the cool thing about that was the validation from people saying, "Man, you guys handle music and people's aspiration for musical dreams with class and dignity, and you have coaches, not judges." And that's what I think is the most meaningful part of like getting that recognition of great production from Mark Burnett and from NBC, and winning an Emmy. Amazing Race had a chokehold on that category for forever. So we were shocked to win one, and even more shocked, I think we won 3 others after that.
Carson said it all. I would just echo what he said. I remember getting a similar call from an executive. And after that, like, we really had wind in our sails, and we were just big believers in the very distinctive lane that the show was taking and how kind-hearted it was. And still to this day, to be really transparent and clear, we have an army of people that work on this show, and they've been on it, most of them, for the run. Mm-hmm. And every single one of them does it, because it's two cycles a year and it's a great job, but really they believe in it. They believe in it. Every person, all they want to do is do their part to help talented singers move a little further down the road, like whatever that road is, whatever that path will be. I still believe in it. Like, I still get goosebumps when you see some extraordinary young talent, especially sometimes these young ones, they come through and you're like blown away by the talent they have. Sometimes they hit the show a little too early for them. Or some people who are a little further down the road, and you can't believe, like, how did you slip through the cracks? Like, this is incredible. And everybody, I mean, Blake jokes that he's the one who's been the biggest person that's been discovered from The Voice, but there are so many people who have gone on to do other things from The Voice. They might not be like these huge superstars, but they're superstar songwriters now, or whatever it is that they're doing. Like, they've made impact in the music business in other ways. So
that actually kind of led me to my next question, because of course the show produces lots of winners, a lot of contestants have come through there. So what is post-Voice life like for these winners, or just any of the contestants? And Kelly, I imagine you probably know a thing or two about that.
It's different for every one of them. In any industry, there's always a little bit of politics involved. Doesn't matter what in your industry, Gerrad. It's in everyone's.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you this: the coaches work their tails off to sing with them on stuff, to have them open for your shows, and I'm complimenting Shelton again, but I will say that's one of the reasons why I did love to be a part of the show, because it was a weird thing for me. Obviously, I'm from another show. So, and you know, I love my start and I'm very grateful for it. But the main reason, you know, there were a couple main reasons, but one of the reasons was how much he cared about, like, I literally heard from my then husband at the time, how much money he would put in, how much he would put them up in housing. He would really try and connect them with people and really try and help, almost like a manager or an agent or whatnot. And so I think a lot of it does fall to the coaches and the other artists and everybody networking together. And to second what Audrey said, everybody thinks, oh, well, there's no big star from it. You know, my goal in life, like whenever I love singing and I wanted to be a singer, wasn't to be a big, huge superstar. Honest to God, I wanted to be a background singer because I love all different types of music. I think we're aware of this now. I cover a lot of music, but like my goal was to sing for John Legend or for Blake Shelton or Nick. I wanted to sing with so many different artists and I wanted to make money doing what I love. I didn't want to have to be a waitress for the rest of my life. That was it. Nothing wrong with being a waitress. I was actually amazing at it, but I'm just saying I wanted to make money singing. And that is the point. And that is what Audrey said, like whatever, we are really realistic with these artists. There's a lot of singing competitions, okay? There's a lot of winners. There's a lot of people. So you really have to have that in your head of like, you don't know what's going to happen. But what you do know is that you have a team with me. I'm going to do my damnedest to try and help you accomplish whatever you can do. So it's really about the basics of what we all started like in this business. I moved out here after high school. I slept on a mattress and ate ramen noodles. And this was all before our idol. You know what I'm saying? Like we all busted our behinds. He was a roofer. I'm sure you were choir director. We all did different things. And it's all that thing of working towards your dream and whatever that's going to be. But I mean, I think we all are realistic with them in the sense of like, look, we don't even know where our careers are headed. We don't know where any careers are headed. But what I do know is I can help you make money doing this for a living. And that is the goal for every artist.
The winner of The Voice is...
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Carter Rubin, you did it! Congratulations! A big hand for Carter. And of course, all 5 of our incredible artists tonight.
And it's such a range. Like I still follow all of my former team members. They'll reach out and send me songs. I've written with May Lynn, who won season 16, and I just see there's such a range of drive. There's such a range of point of view. People knowing who they are as an artist. Like some of them really have it. Some of them know who they are, know the kind of music they want to make, know how to put together a team to make a really good record. And then some of them are really good singers, but they're not good at all the other things that go into defining themselves as an artist. And so you just see a wide range of people who have the kind of complex suite of abilities that you need to be a successful artist. And some of it's just luck, you know? There's so much music out there. There's so many ways for people to get heard and seen. What The Voice does for them is put them in front of a huge audience, gets them a lot more followers on social media, gets a lot more people paying attention to them. But there's such a range of outcomes that can come from that, depending on luck, depending on the artist's individual ability and drive and entrepreneurship and understanding who they are as an artist, the ability to write good songs or find good songs. All these things go into becoming a successful artist. And The Voice gives them the platform to do it, but it's not going to take you all the way.
Welcome to The Voice.
I didn't even notice until the end. That was wrong, Jonas.
Don't you hate it?
That was wrong. That was my tour version.
Sorry, Kelly. The new guy knows how to use his block. This is a game. Tell everybody your name and where you're from.
My name is Audrey Moon. I'm 28 years old. My family comes from Cape Verde, West Africa.
Oh my God, you're so cool.
I have one last question, kind of off topic, but Nick, you brought up the Super Bowl. I got to ask you guys, Nick and Blake's Super Bowl commercials. They were good stuff. Nick, seeing yourself as an old man, I mean, that had to be weird. I don't know.
Very strange. Although, you know, I think it was a fun way to put, you know, diabetes, something I live with every day, on a stage as big as the Super Bowl. And you had to do something off the top that was a little alarming, like making me look, you know, like a 95-year-old man. But it was great. And the game was, you know, surprising for sure. But yeah, I loved Blake and Adam and Gwen's as well. Thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Blake, tell me what, like, your reaction to the commercial.
Of all the things that I've been fortunate enough to have happen in my life, you know, I don't know that my phone has ever erupted. I mean, my phone was smoking last night, probably just the same way yours was, Nick. I mean, you realize, oh my God, nobody has really ever watched me win an award. I know that now. Everybody watches the Super Bowl. Now it's confirmed. I know every contact in my phone was watching that game, it was funny. I mean, we had a blast. And when I read the script, I thought it was a great idea. I thought it was so funny. And because people still don't really understand why she's with me. And you know,
and now we know why. Now we know.
Fair enough, right? So I loved being able to spin that out. It was pretty fun.
Yeah. Oh, you guys, that is all the time we have for this edition of EW's Around the Table. I'm senior TV editor Gerrad Hall. Thanks to all of you for watching, and thanks so much to The Voice host Carson Daly, coaches Blake, Shelton, Kelly, Clarkson, John Legend, and Nick Jonas, and executive producer and showrunner Audrey Morrissey for joining us today. Really appreciate you guys. Everyone, watch The Voice, NBC. Thanks.
Thank you, Gerrad.
Thank you. Yeah, of course. Thank you.